Piece Podcast. Hi everyone, I'm Miles Weston.
And I'm Kerry Phillips.
And this is the Set Piece Podcast,
where we talk about everything to do with football, mental health and well-being. And I'm joined with a very special guest now. I think they say that Peter Crouch was like a journeyman, innit? I think it was Peter Crouch, innit? He's been everywhere. Also, who else has been everywhere? Is that Marcus Bent? He's been Darren Bent.
Darren Bent,
yeah. So if you're in the non-league circuit, if you're in the football circuit in South, listen, if you don't know Jamie Leggett, then you don't know nothing to do with football. I'm sorry. If you're from South, if you've never heard of him, then no, you don't know nothing. I'm going to question your credibility in football. So introducing Jamie Leggett. How you doing, my bro?
Yeah, no, thanks for the invite. Obviously, been around, as you said, not many clubs, but we'll get into that anyway.
I'm excited about this already. About this already. How you been though, man? How's things with you?
Yeah, not bad. Obviously, just work. I work in the SEN school, so it's
sick.
Obviously, each day, me and my wife work in there. I work in the secondary school, and she works in the primary school. So it's a struggle each day, but it's very beneficial at the end of the year, or seeing the progression on a day-to-day basis of obviously the children.
Nice.
Definitely. And we're going to go into that more in the second half of the segment, which is really good. So first, and we'll talk about in terms of football. Where are you at now?
Yeah. So what I'm doing at the moment, 11-a-side on Saturday. Don't really do anything. Different reasons, obviously, why we can get into that, but I don't really enjoy the 11-a-side on a Saturday to a certain degree. I feel like it's a bit more politics and that. I think Miles probably is touched on it
politics
before.
In all
football, Premier League or non-league.
This is it.
So I don't really. I've not really found the right setting, but Sundays doing Hatcham still.
Yep, see that.
Nice.
Been into, I think it's now my third year? No, fourth year now.
Wow.
Fourth year now with Hatcham. It's gone quite fast, to be fair. We joined, obviously, a new league, what was set up, SFL. So that was set up. We joined that league, obviously, and some of the best teams in South East London are in that league. So it's quite a professional league in the sense of the players what play on there high level, maybe high level on a Saturday, want to play with their mates, but it's the professionalism of the teams in general is high standard. So that's what I'm doing at the moment with 11-a-side, 5-a-side and 6-a-side is mainly my thing, really what I enjoy and get a lot out of. So I'm doing Stars League, which is basically like a brand, really. Like
shout out the Stars League.
Yeah, shout out Stars League.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's like a brand, really, in that sense. Where's Manny doing it, runs it all and everything like that. Does tournaments now, basically, with the teams. We try to get the best players in, obviously try to win as many tournaments as we can. Yeah. So doing that with Stars League. On a Monday night, young YouTube side in R2J, Rob and Joe been doing it for a while. They're good lads, and trying to obviously just progress them in the 5-a-side, understand the 5-a-sides. I feel like we've just recently started going into tournaments, or they've started going into tournaments, being quite successful in playing some of the big teams around at the moment. They played in the All Nations, which is a well-being tournament.
Nice.
Nice.
So
that's brilliant.
Going in there, they won that against IFC in the final, which is obviously a big team, international, on the 5-a-side circuit. Just last week at Long Lane, got to the 6-a-side A1 tournament, semi-final as well. Stars League was there as well.
You're a busy man, you know.
He said, I'm not really doing much.
That's what I'm saying. 5-a-side, 6-a-side, 11-a-side,
And obviously I still do the England 6-a-side as well.
Yeah, I love that.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so under 23s I'm doing at the moment.
Oh,
obviously
brilliant.
we'll touch on what I've done with the past with the England 6-a-side teams and that. But Ross Cable's manager, Mark Staines, president at the GB Mini Football. So I am busy, as you say, but it doesn't in a wet thing. football I love, like 5-a-side, 6-a-side I love.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the mini
Yeah.
side of it. And I feel like it's a community, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you like,
definitely.
Yeah, so, yeah, there's a lot of rivalry, but in the end, like, we all shake hands afterwards, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
everything like that.
Quick question,
Yeah. Go on.
because I know you're experienced.
Mhm.
So you said that you do 5-a-side and 6-a-side.
Mhm.
What I found, I don't know if you feel the same, is that do you feel like there's players that are sick in 5-a-side, but they can't play 11-a-side?
Yeah, and the other way around.
Yeah, true, yeah.
The other way around.
And yeah,
like,
the sick 11-a-side players that
Yeah.
can't play 5-a-side.
yeah, it's very tactical, 5-a-side and 6-a-side. Don't get me wrong, obviously 11-a-side can be as well, but it's knowing the styles of play of all the players and the team you're playing against. So you could be basically in a low block in the 5-a-side and then hit them on a break, or you could go on a high press, or you could go very tactical and just go back to the goalkeeper and then spin out. So there's lots of tactical things. A lot of teams play for free kicks because then this is more in 5-a-side, but they play for free kicks because they might have a free kick specialist, and or they have routines or whatever. Obviously, in 11-a-side, you still have that, but it's a smaller dynamics thing. Especially in 6-a-side, obviously, I've been to international competitions, been World Cups, European Championships. All the Eastern European teams are the best teams in the world because of the sense of that's their national sport. If you're not like 11-a-side,
that makes sense.
A lot of them countries have got funding from the like government, etc.
Oh, wow.
So they put a lot into it. That's their second sport.
Okay.
That makes sense.
England, we don't really associate it with it.
Football's
so it's like,
11-a-side football's the main one.
And to be fair, 6-a-side obviously is what we do the international competitions with. Goals really is like a 5-a-side centre or your power leagues. That's what we brought up on say in England. Whereas we're trying at GB mini football. Look, let's branch out. This will show you if you don't make it as a pro. This is the next best thing. You're representing your country.
True.
That's brilliant.
True.
That's brilliant.
True.
Do you know what? It's interesting because, like, I remember, like, you think that you just play 5-a-side and you just get 5 on each side and you just play football. But only of recent, as I started to kind of like see it a lot more on terms of like YouTube and stuff like that and different clubs, I realized that there is that real tactics involved in it. And as you said, like, there are a lot of people that I see 11-a-side that I'm like, no, you couldn't handle 5-a-side because a lot of the time, correct me if I'm wrong, like 5-a-side, you can't hide. The ball's always at your feet.
All action.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like,
and I would say fitness-wise as well.
Yeah.
Man. Listen, 5-a-side, that you get a lot of fitness from that because it's non-stop, as you said. It's just constant. And in the 11-a-side game, you have to be fit, but you can jog around a little bit more. 5-a-side, it's just non-stop football.
Yeah, that's
and it's like man, like it's a small area, man v man. As you said, you got your tactics, but it's definitely like it's different.
I don't even run for the bus, so let alone running around 5-a-side. Like I like being an 11-a-side where you got a lot more times. You might have a little break of play. Like if you're a striker up the top there, you might have a break where you're under the cosh. You're like, I'll just chill up here for a little bit.
True,
the thing is, even in 6-a-side, you can't hide because obviously the keeper can come out and be like the overload. So it's like a bit like futsal to a certain degree, like that. But I feel like 6-a-side is a combination of 5s, 11s, futsal, like everything together. So it's like the keeper can come out and you can step in, but you try to create the overloads. He might even be the best player. Like if we go with the Czech Republic team, he actually wasn't a goalkeeper. He's old 11. He played for like Sparta Prague. But he was a centre midfielder. So he's like great with his feet. So he can step in. Like he's gone in goal. Like for them, obviously he can like save the ball. He's like decent now in goal, but he's naturally obviously okay with his feet.
That's
he
another
just
player.
steps in.
So
that's why I say like the European teams like. That's what they're best at. They can understand when they're creating the overloads and when we can get out and when the keeper can step in or the wide defender can step in and we can play higher. You know what I mean? So it's just you got to learn a lot in 6-a-side, a lot. Nice. And obviously, as we say, we're trying to promote it as much as we can in England. You know?
So it's interesting because I look at your career, right? So correct me if I'm wrong. Like you started, was it Abbey Boys?
Yeah, so Abbey Boys was a local side. Literally, I lived at Abbey Wood with my mum and dad when I was obviously Greenwich Hospital when I was born. That was my first side. I was there for like whole of my youth, really up until about 12 years old. And then I felt like I needed a change. There's a lot of my mates from school. I think that's a lot
norm,
of us.
innit?
Yeah,
That's the best.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lie. That like I always say this. Like I enjoyed some of my best football is Sunday League because there's no pressure. You just play.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like you're playing with your friends.
Yeah.
And you're winning with your friends, and the banter's with your friends. Everything with your friends. I think that's like one of the best.
Yeah, the Bexley League. That was where it was
Exactly,
then. Yeah, the
yeah.
Bexley League. So I played most of my time there, and then obviously as you get older, maybe around like 14, 15, then you start going into the Kent Youth Leagues and like the better, like so-called better players. You know what I mean? Like,
So is that when you
associated
went to
with
like what, like Thamesmead and Bromley?
So basically, then I think I might have done one season after I went to after Abbey Boys, actually, like Teviot maybe for a little bit, like another local side. Literally, it's next door to our school, what I work at now. So, and then basically, then I went to. So then I went to Long Lane. Yeah, we went into the Kent Youth League. No, sorry, that was still another year at Bexley. That was when we went there. We had like 3 or 4 my mates or whatever. We went there, made a side, and my dad basically run it. Like he run it. And then I think it's the same as a lot. Yeah, like a lot of.
Sunday teams, dad. Someone's dad's running it. Yeah.
Oh, can you run it or whatever? So he come in and run it. And then we won the league that season, and then obviously a lot of people when you win the league or whatever, and then we played. Who did we play? Donovan James. So I know like Donovan James. Yeah. So he was like, I'd never played centre half, and because I was quick and Donovan was really quick, they was like, oh, we need you to play this one game centre half.
Right.
And I was like, all right, cool, I'll play like things. And then it was between us and FC 86, which they played at. It was next door to Millwall's training ground. Where you know, like Casey Palmer and all that come out and all that. So it was next door to there. So,
what? 10B.
Yeah,
10B.
So they was under FC 86 at the time. And then we won that game, and then we went on to win obviously the league. So everyone was like, oh, like the clubs like Thamesmead and the Bromleys and all that. They was like, oh, can you come over? Like, and then we was like, but Long Lane has always been a great community club, but there's no progression with it. There was no it was like they had great players. They had like Sammy Woods, Ross Lovers, like Danny Knowles, like in goal and all them. Like
Knowlesy,
you know what I mean. Like all gone on to play like
professionally,
all professionally. So it was like there was never a progression with Long Lane. Like a great community club and one of the biggest, obviously, in the country
100%.
with what they do.
And you can see it now with their facilities as well.
Yeah. Obviously held like training camps for the Olympics when it was over here.
Wow.
But we just felt like it was the next step. Like we've won the league. Like why are we gonna stay? We need to go to Kent Youth. So we went Kent. So we went Thamesmead. And there was 2 Thamesmead sides again. Like one in like I think they were split. Then it was like the north and the south.
Was it the whole team that went?
Yeah.
The whole team went.
Okay. So we all went over, and then we added a few players or whatever. But my dad didn't run it then. He started setting up more of the Thamesmead Town youth setup. So he literally like run all like this, oversee it. So he was like seeing that, and then we just played. It was like Trevor Cross he worked in youth in Thamesmead, and Dell and Dave Cairns. They were basically the management team, and basically then we ended up winning the Kent Youth League under 16s, I think it was. Then we went to the tournament in Blackpool. Like I think it was the Ambro tournament, international tournament.
Stop.
Went there, ended up beating the favourites who had won it the year before in the quarter-final, but ended up running out of steam basically, and injuries or whatever. Like you know what them tournaments are like.
Of course.
Ended up running out of steam, lost to penalties in the semi-final. But then when we come back, 2 or 3 of our players was like gone on trials, etc. Like because obviously that's how it is, you know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
if you've got good players, you're gonna get scouted anyway.
So then it was like I went on trial at like Charlton and that, and then it just didn't work out or whatever. So then we was under 17s, under 18s.
Yeah.
So then we ended up moving to Bromley.
Okay.
Obviously, then it's the progression, isn't it? Like,
It is,
from that. So we ended up going to Bromley. My dad ended up running the whole of the youth section again, setting it all up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice,
and everything.
nice,
So
nice.
he was literally the first one when they was George Wakely and all them, like literally, when they had the pitch, they had none of the facilities what they've got now.
Yeah.
But he ran it there, and it was still connected to a college. Then he started because obviously then we started going into college. So it was associated more with London Leisure College at Charlton Athletics.
Yeah.
It was in the Valley at the time, so they just cordoned it off in the rooms and that. So then we done that. And then basically they started to do an under 23 league at the time, or no, under 21 league at the time. So then I was in and out of like the reserves and thing. We played FA Youth Cup and that at Bromley. Couple of times I was on the bench for the first team, like in the Kent Senior Trophy and Cup. That's what normally they use like, for the youngsters to come through. But then I started getting into the coaching because my dad was like, obviously doing the youth section, so he was like, oh, just come and like help out, like you know what I mean? So I was like, all right, cool. Then obviously when I was like at college and that, I was starting to do my badges or whatever and that. So I was like, all right, I'll just come down and do it. And then I ended up basically doing the 18s and like 17s and I ended up doing the 15s at the time. And then obviously they progressed through to the 18s. And then, but remember, by that time, obviously when they went to the like 18s, I would have only been like 20, like when I was coaching them. So I'm only like 2 or 3 years older. But it started being more what I wanted to do. I didn't, like it was just like I was getting frustrated with playing. I was just frustrated because it was like you're saying these promises, but they weren't coming. Like remember at the time, if you're the best youth team around or one of the best youth teams around, and then it doesn't work, it just doesn't work for me. It's like we had the top goal scorer in like the whole of the Kent Youth Leagues and all the thing, like Nigel Pearce, and he scored like 43 goals in the season. Wow. He was getting in the first team, playing, and he come off the bench and scored like 2 in one game. And then next week they're sending him out on loan to Beckenham. And it's like, it doesn't make no sense. Why are you not keeping these players? I just didn't understand it. Like, you're young, you know what I mean? And you're just like...
Can I ask you a question? Do you understand it now?
I understand it now because obviously as a coach and a manager, I get it, the progression.
Because you know what it is? Remember, football's a business, you know? That's first and foremost, before anything else, football's a business. And obviously... people within that business they're gonna get affected in different ways. You might go up or you might go down, and these is things that I'm even learning still now, like because our emotions are attached to it. As players, we all want to play and we all want to, but the manager or the owner or someone might have something totally different in their mindset.
And they've got the players coming in from like the pro level maybe or
this
whatever.
Is it.
So
do you know what I mean?
Like at the time, the season before, obviously, speaking about Nigel or whatever, like he's scoring goals, and pre-season he was scoring goals and that. And then it was like, I'm going to send you out on a loan probably. It's because he brought in like Albert Adomo. Like,
that's my guy as well, Albert.
And then you had like who else was it? Wade Falano and all that. Like
and you have to justify play.
And like, how are you playing a 18-year-old over me?
That's what it is.
You know,
no, but that's what it is. They have to if you bring someone in, you have to justify bringing that person in.
Right.
Like, you can't just like, and this is where the conflict happens because the young lad might be better than the person they brought in, but if this person's on way more money than this person, or they're on loan, they have to use them for that amount of time. That's basically...
The fact of the matter is, even if you're 18, 19-year-old coming from like a pro club, they're expecting you to play them. But obviously you might have a person in that youth team
That's just
who's
as good.
better
Yeah,
or maybe
true.
as good.
Yeah.
But they're not going to play over them because
No.
you're bringing in players
Someone,
from
yeah.
a pro club, and it's
This is
like that's the frustration.
Yeah, it is
it's
frustrating,
Like,
yeah.
It's like, but non-league, and your testimony to this, non-league is not pro game.
No, it's not. It's
23s is not a pro game.
Uh-uh.
It's not a non-league.
Yeah.
I don't think the structure of it in general all over the country doesn't set you up
It doesn't.
for what non-league is.
No.
Right. Okay.
Non-league is completely different to thing.
Because you could
Obviously,
say you could like I always say this, and I say this to a lot of the young boys that I mentor. You can score 100 goals in the 23s. It don't mean nothing in the in non-league or the pro game because it's not real football.
Right.
Like
Okay.
the 23s league is very structured, so it's nice. Pass, pass, and majority of the teams play the same.
Yeah.
Go to a national league game, and when you're going up against a big centre back that's gonna elbow you, they don't not used to
Right,
it.
yeah,
Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
and what happens is a lot of the young boys that do come down, it's a reality check.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's good that they do go on loan because it makes them a man. You have to be a man if you play in the long league or even if you play in the league because you're playing against men. In the 23s, as I said, it's structured. It's like everything's tactical, nice. And then you go to the real game, it's totally different.
To what age do you think that they should start that in terms of like the young boys, in terms of getting them to kind of even be in that environment rather than keeping them in that?
I'll let you answer.
It's a hard one because I don't think I have the answer. I don't think Miles will have the answer.
Yeah.
It's all the perspective, isn't it? That's the
Yeah.
thing. It's like, is that player ready to play in the first
That's-
team now,
that's what I was
or
gonna
is
say,
he?
yeah.
Like, you don't know until you give him a chance.
This is
Yeah.
it.
That's the thing. So it's like, are you willing to? Because as Miles said earlier, a lot of clubs, especially if you're challenged for promotion or your aim is to challenge for promotion, it's all a results business.
Yeah.
And managers are scared, obviously, to put a youngster in if you're up at the top of the table.
Yeah.
Because if it don't
a results
work,
business,
don't
yeah.
work. Or
Yeah.
even if you're fighting relegation,
Yeah.
why am
Yeah.
I going to throw a young boy in? Like, I need somebody experienced to get me
Yeah.
out of this trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he might have the talent to get you
Out of the
it,
trouble,
but
yeah.
you're not going to do it because you're scared. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
as a manager, you got to be brave in your decisions because it will cost you.
Yeah.
Like, it will either cost you your job or
100%.
Yeah.
That's the fact of the matter is the player can go and find another club,
Yeah.
but the manager obviously he can go to another club. But it's about reputation, isn't it? As a manager, if you're winning games of football, you're going to get the so-called bigger clubs,
Opportunities,
opportunities, or you're going to get the clubs with a bigger budget maybe coming in for you.
Definitely.
And then you have the better so-called talent or whatever,
Yeah.
etc. But I think I don't know what Miles thinks, but I think the ideal thing is having the right structure and the right mentality in your dressing room. Because
Yeah.
if you don't have that and all togetherness, or you have like clicks here or clicks there, then I don't think you
It
win.
falls apart.
It
Yeah.
falls apart.
100%. And go on.
No, go on.
I was gonna touch on that as well because I've always said like, I think you play someone when they're ready. I don't think age matters.
Right. Okay.
You're seeing it. Spain.
Yeah.
He's 16.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Lamar.
Lamar. He's 16, and the Spanish manager is brave enough to play him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so he's ready.
Yeah.
So for me, it doesn't matter about the age. If you're ready, you're ready. Like, I would play anyone if they're ready.
So have you ever found yourself in a position at managing where you've kind of had to do the same thing?
I think it's a bit different, like
Yeah.
slightly, because obviously I've not really done the Saturday thing. Like if I've done the Saturday thing, then it's like as an assistant or as a coach. So I don't really make that decision. Like, I don't make that decision. I
Okay.
just coach that.
Have you seen it then?
I think we will all come in and say we've seen it. Like I think that player is performing better or he could do a better job than the other. But that's not my decision.
Yeah.
That's not my decision unless something. On a Sunday, it's slightly different because obviously you pick the players you want to come in. Like,
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
I
of
think
course,
that.
yeah.
But like for us at Hatcham,
Yeah.
me, Dallas, like managing it. Like
Yeah.
Andrew
Yeah.
Dallas is managing it.
Big up Angie.
But we, do you know what? We give the youngsters a chance.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right, okay,
like, Beth come out of Dom Weston,
Dom's
obviously,
academy,
academy and
yeah,
that.
Beth,
So
yeah.
I know Beth from obviously Kent football when I was coaching at Kent football.
Yeah.
And Dom was around, and Ahmed, Dean, and
Yeah.
everyone that. We gave him that chance. We gave him like the chance to come and play week in, week out in that. Look at the standard of our level. You know what I mean? Like on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And now, obviously, then last season he went and played at VCD. That
Okay,
was
yeah.
off the back of us playing a game of the SFL at VCD. VCD manager see him and we're like, "Who's he at?" He's like, "He's at Kent football at Step 6." He's like, "No, you can play higher." Obviously, he's only gone one level up.
Yeah.
But that was his that's been his progression so far. So he's gone up one level.
Yeah.
He could go higher.
Yeah.
He reminds me very much of Dominic Natanya.
Yeah,
As well. Another player I had when I was at here from Belvedere and I was coaching.
Yeah.
But we gave him a chance when they was at Step 6. He played, and now he's played like national level for Maidstone. And like just signed that Braintree. So it's like he's progressed up. They can progress up, but you've got to give him the chance.
100%.
And you've got to give him a platform.
100%.
That's the problem is I feel like it's having that platform. For a young player, it is having that platform.
Yeah.
But I do what you touched on, maybe the YouTube side of it and like performance games and stuff like that. It does give them more of a platform.
Yeah, exposure.
But also, sometimes it's the hype around that. Like, that's not real as well. So you've got to try to keep on grounded to a certain degree.
100%.
Okay.
I mean, like, perfect example for us, I think, who he's progressed as a player for is Tyler Cox. Tyler Cox was at Sutton Common Rovers, playing wing back there, and he was in the struggling side, like on a Saturday. Come and played for us. Come and played us on a Sunday. Played him as a winger. Played him at fullback. Now he's went to Leatherhead last season. Showed what he could do at Leatherhead. Now he's playing for Abbey this season, just signed for Abbey. So it's like, that's the progression. What we're trying, like me and hit Dallas or whatever, we want to give these players the chance to go and progress.
And you know what it is? It's needed. It's needed.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask you another question about opportunity. Do you, on the other hand, do you think it's important to know when someone ain't ready as well?
Yeah, of course.
Like, just to, like, because it's sometimes giving someone opportunity when they're not ready is worse than even giving them the opportunity.
Yeah,
do you get what I mean?
Because basically, if you give them the opportunity, or say you send them into a Saturday club earlier than what they're needed, or as also, I feel like sometimes I see you've got to send them to the right people. I think, because if I send in a technically gifted player into non-league and that style of player of the manager is like
long ball.
what's the point? Like, if he goes in as a 8 or a 10 and he wants to get on the ball, he's not going to show his ability, is he? He's not going to show. But also, on the other hand, we've had it with some of the players at Hatcham. We're like, you can do all this, but if you want to progress on a Saturday or you want to go higher, you've got to understand the other side of the game as well. So you've got to go and pick up the second balls on the thing, because there's always games where you're going to have to do that. You can't just play total football. Let's be honest, it's non-league. You're not going to be able to.
And that's important.
It's the adaptation of them as well.
Definitely.
As people think. We can only give them the information
the tools,
or the options, but you've then got to go in and show that.
Yeah, 100%.
You've got to show your ability, yes, what has got you there for that opportunity, but you've also got to adapt to the manager as well. So from Perfect Thing, I love Pitsy. He was at Kennywell manager. He's just Glebe manager. He's just gone up 2 levels. He's now at manager at Lewis. So he's given the platform for young players. Last season, his Glebe side was electric, and then he left towards the end of the season. Again, I think it was more politics or whatever, etc. In the game, but he left. Now he's got the opportunity at Lewis, but he's now still giving them opportunities to go up 2 levels. So he's taken 5, 6 of them players who have earned that right after a good season. You know what I mean? So need more managers like that. I feel sometimes in non-league it's a revolving circle. So one person may leave one job, then next week you'll see him at another club. You'll see him at another club and another club.
Yeah.
I'm not saying some of them have not earned the right for that because of their results or thing. That's fine. But there's other managers no offense, but they haven't done anything.
Yeah.
Like you've gave them the opportunity at say 2-3 clubs, but you haven't done anything to earn a right to get another job over somebody else who I think will do a better thing.
Yeah.
So it's all not only in the coaching, but players in general in non-league. For me, it's giving them the opportunity to shine. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just going round in a revolving circle.
Yeah.
The same players
100%.
going to
Different
the same,
clubs,
or the same managers going to different clubs as well. It's just, for me, it's about opportunity and just having a brighter light and the information from chairmans and boards, etc., like giving young up and coming players or managers the opportunity to shine.
Did you, seeing all of this and as you got older, did it ever make you kind of lose your love for football at any time?
Yeah, 100%. I didn't want to. I think 11 aside, I was done with. I was like, I don't want to do nothing. I can't be bothered. And then, to be fair, I went back in at Sunday football at Mile End Bay. I was still doing my 5-a-side, 6-a-side, like with England and Scotland and stuff like that. But I wasn't doing 11-a-side. I was like, no, I can't be bothered. I was like, wow, I can't be, don't want to do it. I can't be bothered. And then I went back in with Justin Gardner at Mile End Bay Tees on a Sunday.
Justin?
Yeah.
That's my guy.
Yeah. He's like,
we got Kaiden.
So it was me, Kieran Hugh Mason.
Yeah, Kieran, no cares.
And him doing Mile End Bay Tees. So basically he just split from, he was at Bay Tees squad for obviously years as manager. Yeah. But whatever happened with them two, whatever happened. So he would come away and then he stayed in the Hackney and Leighton League, which is obviously Hackney Marsh is famous obviously for everyone.
Yeah.
So he at the time just turned around and basically I started the mental health, what we're going to go on to, team. So Justin come and played like one of the games. Yeah. And then he was like, yeah, do you want to come like help me at Mile End? And I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? Let me go and see. Yeah. So I went over there and we ended up obviously winning the league unbeaten. Got to the London Cup final. That was literally around the COVID, just coming out of the COVID thing. So it was like you could play grassroots. So that was the grassroots season of when people could, like, non-league players could play. Like open the door. It was like, oh, you can't play competitive or whatever it was. You know what I mean? So it's like we ended up playing Grand in the final, Grand Athletic. Yeah. And they had like AC, Andre Coca, Cadell Daniel,
Cats,
Rash. He's went from Maidstone recently to Averley. Yeah. Right. So their side was like littered of like non-league, like high level, like
established non-league players.
Everyone wanted to, they wanted to play. Don't get me wrong, there was other players who were just grassroots and they're just their mates. Yeah. But they was like unstoppable that season. But we ended up taking them in the end to extra time and just run out of legs. Yeah. In the end, we ran out of legs. A couple injuries like affected us. It was peeing down the rain that night. AC should have probably got sent off in the first half because he kicked the ball away on a yellow card. The referee gave him a thing. But that's football, isn't it? Yeah. So they took him off straight away, then brought it back on obviously later in the game because it's roll off thing. Yeah. Then they probably should have had their goalkeeper sent off as well. In this first minute of the second half, literally Tayo went through for us. Went through, the goalkeeper literally clotheslined him. He went flying up in the air. The water went everywhere. Wow. And basically he turned around and said, oh, it's because of the conditions. Okay.
But you know what? That's, you see, officials in non-league, it's funny, you know.
Serious?
Yeah, but
some
listen,
of the things they
anything
say
goes, bro.
Yeah.
Trust me, there's no VAR. There's like, it's more lenient, isn't it? Like, do you know what I mean? They're like, it's not as in a national league or a non-league, the officials are, do you know what I mean, are probably a bit better. But like, it's funny, some of the challenges I see like on YouTube or anything, I think this is karate. I swear, I'm telling you, this is karate.
Obviously, it can be edited and everything. We all know.
Of course.
YouTube, but as I say, go back to that final. Obviously, that they was an unbelievable side. They're still now a very good side. Grand, they're in the SFL as well. So it's really good, obviously, to have that on a Sunday. But going back to your question of losing the love, I think they brought it back slightly, but then I think we stopped playing after that season. We said we just was like, okay, well let's go maybe out on that high, because it was, for whatever various reasons, we was going away from it. Like Kears was going into management, Justin was going back into Saturday management, more. So it was like he left it more, and his son signed at Tottenham as well, Justin Gardner. So he's doing really well there as well. Really so he had to more focus on that a bit more. So he was like, you can do it if you want to do it. But I was like, nah, I'm not doing it on my own. I'm not going. I remember, I'm coming from Southeast and going to obviously Hackney Marshes every Sunday. It was like, wow, if I'm doing that every Sunday, then
it's got to make sense.
So I left it, and I was like, let's just leave it at that. So we ended up not playing like there. So then it come to pre-season, and I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't gonna do anything either. But then obviously Dallas was with me at Bromley. He'd just been released from Crystal Palace, so he come played with me at Bromley, and really good obviously season he had there, getting in the first team and stuff like that at Bromley as well. So then obviously I've known him for 15, 20 years. So it's like, do you want to come do this? I was like, nah, I can't be bothered. Like, I've just done one season, I can't be I'm just gonna concentrate on my 5s and 6s. I can't thing. He's like, just come down. I come down for one game, the first game of the season when they played Kenningwell. So it was like Junior Baker. Obviously, like one of my best mates. He was best man at my wedding with Zoe, and that. So I went down there and I just watched the game. By half time, I was getting the tactics pulled out and going I couldn't just stand there and watch. It was like one of them.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard.
And even if I go to games, obviously I go a lot of games. Even I go a lot of non-league games or whatever. Zoe's really patient with it, as much as it can peel off a lot of the time. But she is patient with it and she is good with it. And I wouldn't have that with that. Obviously, we go into the support and that later on. But if I wouldn't be able to do the football without her, that thing. So with that, it was like, okay, let's do this. So we done it. Ended up finishing second. Pushed Dons all the way for the title that season. I think we ended up losing it by 1 point.
Wow!
I think in the end they deserved to win it. Like, they had a really good side that season. Like, they had a lot of non-league players. They ended up winning it that season, so they probably deserved it in the end. And then we went. Both of us obviously then was like, what are we gonna do? Because there wasn't as much like what we felt like competition. As much as Kenningwell were really good and Bickley were really good. We felt at that time there wasn't that much competition in that league. Big up Bickley, they've been around for years. Won titles, they've just won back-to-back titles again in the Orpington and Bromley. Had a lot of battles with them, a lot of respect for them. But it just felt at the time we was the two best teams in that league, and it was like, what are we going to do here?
What's the next step to challenge?
Then, we ended up going to the SFL. Like, it was like the league. It was so-called Super League.
Because how did that get created? Because I remember, I remember seeing that, and I was like, how's that going to work then? Because with 10 teams or something like that.
Yeah. So basically, it was meant to be 12 teams.
Okay.
It was meant to be 12 teams. It started off with 12 teams, but what happened was, it was meant to try to advertise of being the so-called Super League in that sense.
Yeah.
But whatever. So SFL it's called, Sunday Football League London. So it ended up being the first season we had 12 teams signed in. We was meant to have, we thought we was going to have Beatties coming in, Hatch Lane coming in. So all the like best teams.
Yeah.
But logistically, I think it fell short because of
distance.
The distances that you got to understand. The format was like, the format is still that as well, but we only play each other once. So
Right.
we was more of, all of us wanted to enter the Nationals. All of us wanted to enter the London Cup.
Cups,
all of us wanted to enter the Kent Cups.
Yeah.
We wanted to go and test ourselves against
the other teams. Yeah.
And remember, this league now was full of non-league players.
Yeah.
Right.
And they might be high level, so they might be playing Saturday
and then
Tuesday as well.
Yeah.
So it's
Right,
like, how can we work best things? So the founding members, basically, we all turned around and said, in the end, let's just play each other once, and then at the end of the season, the top 4 go into like a playoff. To win the league.
Yeah.
So 4th would play 3rd.
Yeah.
The winner of that plays 2nd. The winner of that thing.
Yeah.
That then reduces the league games.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So then
And the commitment for others.
the commitment
as well.
of the Saturday players or whatever, etc. And that. So it was like, let's do that. So it worked the first season. I don't know if it slightly didn't work the second season, but it worked the first season. We had like UTR, us, Wall, Grand, Dons, obviously, Kamazi, Saha. So like really good teams.
Yeah.
Like, and then this season, Highgate come into it and Hammersmith Town come into it. Really good, like established teams.
Yeah.
On the run to the London Cup, we played Hammersmith at Hammersmith. Ended up beating them 1-0 when I was at Milan Beatties, but really good side. Like they had Tayshan, little baby, who plays for like Quay Wanderers now, but he was at just come back out of Sheffield United. So like that's the colour war players we were playing.
Yeah.
So it's like they've made this league, and I think it was more of, it was a success this season in the sense of everyone getting as far as they can in the county cups or the nationals. So we had everyone basically in every cup competition you could think of. Surrey, Middlesex, obviously because of Hammersmith and Highgate, Kent Cup, London Cup, Nationals. Nationals, I think it was quarter final, Highgate, but the rest, Plumstead Challenge Cup was us and Dons. We ended up obviously beating them in the cup final. Dons ended up getting to the cup final against Beatties, London Cup as well. So every side, basically the UTR semi-final, the Kent Cup. So the aim of that was to allow the teams to go and try to win
other cups,
to cover the cups.
Yeah.
So in that theory, it was a success.
Yeah.
Don't know how we're meant to now obviously progress. Well, obviously with Dons going Saturdays now, non-league, they've dropped out. Highgate have now gone back to their league because of logistically they didn't think it was to travel, keep on travelling. Because if you're playing each other, say, I don't know, there was only 8 teams, a couple teams folded, so it ended up, basically this season ended up being 8 teams, I think, at the end of the season.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was like, it went from 10 at the start of the season and a couple teams folded really early on because they knew they couldn't compete with the standard of football. So we was like, you can't let this happen again. So we have all of us have had a meeting with the league and that, and said, look, you can't have that again. Like, we got to rent the teams what are coming in. They've got to be at a certain standard to come into this league.
100%.
Because otherwise you're going to have that. Because remember, if you're only playing each other once, if you lose 2 or 3 games, the season's done. Especially and then if you get knocked out the, let's say, London Cup or Kent Cups or whatever, whatever cups you're in early doors, your season's done again. Like, you're relying on the cups to save your season, but then if you're knocked out of them,
you're done.
You're done. So it's like, what's the point of paying all that money? Because remember, you still got to pay for the officials, you still got to pay for
real.
the grounds. You know how the costs are going up constantly all the time. So it's like them teams dropped out. So you got to be not only on the pitch at a standard, you got to be off the pitch at the standard.
That's real. That's real.
We're okay with that because we've got Millsy behind us, and Millsy's been around, obviously, Sunday football for years and years, and he's an established person who in non-league, Sunday league, so everyone knows that's thing. But we got to have clubs like that, you know what I mean? Like, and we got to have people like that in grassroots who come. That's why I say, obviously, I show a lot of respect for Bickley. Obviously, we have our back and forth, but I have a lot of respect for them because they've been going for so long. And you've got to have them established clubs. You can have them well-win clubs who win things and are around for like 2-3 years. But what does that mean? There's no history to them. No history to them. So if they want to come now into this league and try to compete, that's fine. But understand it's not just about that. It's about the whole club situation, 100%. Even on that. That's where the professionalism has come more into Sunday football and grassroots as well as Saturday football. But still have the love for Sunday football, you know what I mean, to express yourself and that.
Do you like the fact that there's a lot more, because a lot of those teams you mentioned as well have their own like YouTube panels and platforms. Do you like the whole YouTube thing in terms of being around it? Because I don't really watch the whole YouTube side of things. So do Hatcham have something like that?
So no, we started. So basically, obviously, Andrew Dowhouse does a lot of media stuff. That's his job. So we could do that if we wanted to. Right, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of backing, etc. So he obviously has a stressful job doing everyone else's companies and media, like AAA media services. So he does a lot of obviously websites. He does just like these, like, you know what I mean, setting everything up. So it's like he could
shout him out.
I was about to say, I have to give you a call, mate.
But he does everything, like he does all that. So he's really busy with that anyway. So we could actually have like a really good YouTube thing, but it's just having the people around you to do that. Touching obviously, like I do the five-a-side with R2J. They're a YouTube side. They're a young like thing. So I try to obviously help them as much as I can. But the respect for what I have for anyone who does YouTube stuff is the editing, the
consistency.
The consistency of
it.
Everything.
I rate it.
You know what I mean?
Highly.
Do I feel like sometimes it can be a negative? Yes, it can be a negative, obviously, because I think you get portrayed in a way what you're not portrayed. Like if you can be like a meme for like content, like you can be a villain for content, which I think I've done, I've had, you know what I mean, and I think it's still portrayed as that. Do I think sometimes it can be a negative? Yes, it can. Can it be funny sometimes? Yes, it can as well. But I think there's a fine line, and sometimes people cross it, and people think. I think you got to understand where the fine line is, and where it stops from being banter or for content, and it becomes personal.
Definitely.
That's what I think. And that's what I think.
100%.
And we're going to touch on that. We're going to touch on that afterwards because we're coming up to. Well, no, we're not even coming up to. We're in injury time at the moment. We're definitely in injury time at the moment. But I've got to ask you before we go on to the mental health and well-being section. What do you prefer now? The stuff that you do 6-a-side, 5-a-side, 6-a-side, or the Sundays?
Nah, 5 and 6-a-side. It's always going to be my love.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always going to be my love.
And what made you want to push that more?
Just because I played it for years. I played 5-a-side for years, and then obviously 6-a-side, like England and Scotland, and the national teams started coming on board, and I got involved in that. And then I've travelled the world doing 5 and 6-a-side. I played at like grounds, like I played at Wembley 4 times through 5-a-side. I played at like Anfield. I played at Villa Park. Like you're not gonna get for me unless you're like Sunday football. I love and enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. It's a great group at Hatcham. All the lads are great. Like it's like a family there, and I enjoy it being with them. But 5 and 6-a-side gives me the opportunities to go around the world. Like I was just in UAE like last year for the World Cup.
Yes.
Like this year I've gone to Bosnia. Like obviously it's totally different. But I've gone to all these places. Montenegro. I've gone to Croatia. And what you got to think is I've managed at a World Cup. A lot of people can say I've managed at a World Cup.
Give you your flowers, man. I'm giving you your flowers. Give you your flowers, man.
Big business, man.
To hear that.
So
big business.
That's what gives me my love, like for that. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to give people who are not going to get in the program that opportunity as well.
Yeah,
so
100%.
trying to promote it as much as I can.
Different,
5 or 6 aside in football, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. That's sick, man. So, we're coming up to halftime now. So, we're at halftime, I should say. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the mental health and well-being section, but we're going to be back in the next 5. Give Jamie a chance to get some water or something like that. I need a drink myself. But, yeah, we'll see you back in a bit, people.
If you've listened to the first half and was triggered by anything, contact the numbers on the screen because we want to help you and we want you to get the help that you need.
So we are back with the second half. We've gone into halftime team talk. Jamie was giving the tactics, telling us what we were trying to do, what we need to do, what we should be doing better. So the first question that I have to ask you, now we're into the mental health and well-being section. I've got so many questions in terms of so apologies, I'm going to be like a quiz master here, especially from everything that you've done within the footballing industry. The first question I'm going to ask you though is, what does mental health and well-being mean to you?
It's strange what you say there because obviously I've done my mental health chats off, obviously you're going into them, but that's always my first question. What does mental health mean to you?
Yeah.
So mental health can mean, or mental well-being can mean the same, but it could also mean slightly different.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's the perception of a certain person. I can't tell you what your mental health and well-being is or mental health is.
Very good
I
point.
can't say, oh, it's this for me, but it might not be the same for you. 100%, or you.
100%.
It's got to be slightly different. So that question is very skeptical, or not perspective on a certain individual, I think. So for me, my personal thing is somebody who's struggling maybe, or somebody who is going through something, or maybe going through issues, or just a combination of things where you're just struggling and you can't fathom what's going on, or you can't fathom what the issues are, or you might not even know the issues, but it's just a worry. So the whole thing,
to get out of it.
the whole thing in general, like you may know, but the mind is such for me, it's the most powerful thing in your body.
100%.
That you can't get around what the issues are, and it doesn't matter if the person alongside you or the person trying to help you, or if you can't do it yourself, then it's hard for anyone to do it.
100%.
And we say this all the time because I think people don't realise, people just associate mental health as a negative, and people don't realise there's good mental health and there's poor mental health, and there's good well-being and there's poor well-being.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think this is why we say it's very important that we say, what does it mean to you? Because something that might be bothering you, right, might be little to me, but it might be massive to you. So a quick analogy here from my pastor. Shout out Pastor Mike White. What he said last week at church, and he was like, "There's a young boy named Timmy, let's say for example, and he's looking at the sky and he sees a plane, and his dad said to him, how big is that plane, right?" And the boy says, it's tiny, it's little, it's small, it's a small plane, it's in the air, it's small. So his dad says, okay. So he takes Timmy, drives to the airport, and then Timmy sees the plane up front. And he's like, how big's the plane? And Timmy's like, oh, it's massive, it's huge, it's big and everything like that. And the analogy is that, like, when you're far away from it, you don't realize how big it is. It's only up until you're close and personal. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So for you might be telling me something, and you might come to me, and I might be thinking, well, why is Jamie moaning about that? Like, this is small. But only until, let's say, for example, I'm next to you and I see it firsthand, I understand, oh, wow, this is massive.
Yeah.
And I feel like in terms of like mental health and well-being, I think what we need to understand is that please don't diminish how somebody feels.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Doesn't matter
time.
what you think. Please do not diminish it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the chats, obviously, what I've done, I turned around and said, it's not the person who's having that struggle. What is the most important person is the person on the receiving end. So if I go to Miles and I say something, I might have got the courage after about maybe 10 years. I don't know how long that's been burdening that person.
Yeah.
So if I go to you, Miles, and I go, I'm struggling because of this, and you go, oh, it'll be okay, it's all right. I think I don't want that at that time.
Yeah.
I want you to just listen.
Yeah.
I want you to just listen. You might not have the answers.
Yeah.
I'm not a professional. You're not a professional. You're not a professional. But I might I say something what helps you, but you must listen to the whole thing
100%.
first.
Yeah.
Don't go, oh, it'll be all right, Kerry,
Yeah.
and then just go on and like, move on.
Yeah. It could be worse because there's
for
other
me,
people.
The most important thing with that situation, I think, is the listener. The listener, whoever it is, or person it is. It might be a complete stranger that I go to. It might be a person I've known for 25 years or whatever. It's the person that I've now had that courage to go and say, look, I'm struggling because of this.
Definitely, because as touching on that, what you're saying, that could turn you that way or turn you that way.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for me, I always say this to Kerry, it's about having compassion for everyone.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I don't really, like, as you said, like, what I find now in this world, people don't have time for people.
Yeah.
So you speak, and as I said, you saying that you just have to listen.
Yeah.
Depending on what's happening in my life,
Yeah.
it may be depending on how I react to that.
Yeah.
As I said, I might be like, oh, you'll be all right and come on my life. Or I could be like, why do you feel like that?
Yeah.
Or this is why people, I feel like, are scared to talk.
And that's
because they don't know who's going to react the way that they want them to. Do you know what I mean?
And that's why it's very important that you associate yourself with people that you know you can talk to. And what I've come to realize as well is that, like, just because that person may not be able to receive how you're feeling, it might not be that person is not your friend. It's just that's not the person you go to speak to.
Yeah.
So I might go to Miles if I want to go out to a party. But I might not call Jamie for that because that's not what Jamie does.
Yeah,
but I know if I'm struggling, I'm going to call Jamie.
So the right person, as I was
Yeah.
said,
Right time,
like the right time and the right person.
Yeah.
But it may come from somebody you don't realise is that as well.
It's
So
true.
Facts.
Yeah.
the fact of the matter is, anytime if I come to somebody, I feel like my message is obviously just please listen. Just listen to something, because that. If you just brush it off and think that they might not go to in the next person.
Yeah.
Because if I've gone to you, Kerry, as I said, and then I turn around and say, and you turn around and say, oh, okay, it's okay, or that perspective, I might have wanted to say that for like 15 years to somebody.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I'm like, I've not got the courage now to go
and say
to the
it
next
again.
person
Yeah.
or the next person.
Because,
I'm not going to
yeah.
say it. So it's just going to eat away more and more and more.
Definitely.
And touching on what you were saying about going back into the football side of things, and then you said it affected your love for football. Would you say certain things that you saw within the footballing industry and the politics as well affected your mental health and your well-being?
Yeah, slightly, but I think it was more for me. I don't think until just before COVID, with the situation with my dad, that basically I didn't really think about mental health. I don't think a lot of people think about mental health until it starts
Affecting
like
them.
coming into them or
yeah.
affects
That's the truth.
somebody around them.
That's the truth.
So maybe I was one of them. Maybe a few years ago, maybe before that I wasn't a good listener. So I can't be hypocritical here and turn around and say that I didn't say to somebody, "Oh, I'd be okay,"
Yeah.
because I probably did.
Yeah.
But I don't think sometimes you realise until it affects you or somebody close to you that mental health is, or mental well-being in general, whatever, is such a big thing.
Yeah.
So touching, obviously, as I say, on the football side, I've always had my dad with me.
Right.
I think a lot of people will be the same in South East London, at least. You know what I mean? I think in general, I've always had my dad with me, and then obviously, still, even when I was coaching, or he'd come to my games, etc., and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then just before COVID, he had an issue, affected him basically. Overall issues, ended up being sectioned for like 6 months. So I always, sometimes it's like I get a bit upset with it, with the stuff I say.
Take your time, man. Take your
But
time.
basically, got sectioned for like 6 months. It was one of them things where you don't really think nothing. Like my mum rang me, oh, Dad's not well. Like I think I was like, alright, cool. So I come. Ended up going to the hospital. He was saying things what I've never heard before. Things like, oh, I've murdered this person, I've done this, like just something had affected him. Like it's got like gone. Oh, bailiffs are gonna come and get your the house, like that. And it was like in the end they sectioned him, and he ended up having to go on medication for like 6 months. Like, and he was like, slowly got better, slowly better. Towards the end, when he was in there, he basically, I could go there and I could take him out like on days and stuff like that. So I took him out. Obviously, we'd go for football and go like watch a game of football.
Yeah.
But from that, like he just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
He wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Like he just wasn't that interested. He was there, but he wasn't there.
Yeah.
It just felt like sometimes I'd be talking to that brick wall, and it would just like it's just that thing. So slowly, I started to learn more about it, and you don't know what's going on in someone's mind, and why it might have been affected. And in the long run, we found out that he had like a slow slight stroke on one side, so that affected his mind. Also, other issues had affected his mental, obviously, well-being. And then we found out just not a while back, but not long ago, literally, he had slow dementia. So it's like all of these things are affecting your mind.
100%.
So it's like a thing.
Yeah.
So from that onwards, it was like, I want to now show awareness. I want to try to say, look, from whatever issues, it might not be that it was affected from a stroke. It might not be affected from slow dementia, but they're all, the mind is the most powerful thing.
100%.
So please understand that
100%.
people are struggling.
Yeah.
Especially at the start when I think you're going to go on to the chats, etc. But it was all about men in football, the perspective of men in football. So then I was just like, let people open up. So that's what I was like, COVID, just sitting around, what should I do? And then Dad was struggling, like obviously everyone was struggling, like mentally, everyone was talking and started making a light of mental health. Yeah. It's always been there. Yeah. But no one, I think over COVID it become more and more
apparent, isn't it?
100%.
Apparent.
Yeah.
So Zoe obviously I was with her every day. She was like, what are you going to do? So we started talking, and I ended up doing like these just chats on live because people didn't think. So I don't know if you want to obviously.
Yeah, because I think for me, like it's so it's powerful because there's something that you said that you've probably been that person in the past, right? Where you've probably just said it's okay, like it's okay, it'll be fine, and then now. Fast forward, something's had to happen to you to allow yourself to be vulnerable enough in order to start doing those lives. And it's probably interesting that you probably spoke to people or saw people tuning in that you would think, wow, I didn't even notice that you were going through that. And I think what we try to do promote with this is how much in football we probably miss in terms of how many people are actually going through and what football does to keep some people going. And now obviously with regards to let us talk mental health, like talk to us about that. How did that come around, and what is the purpose of it, and what you're trying to do with it?
So basically, obviously it was after my dad, obviously with the issues he had. Didn't even think of the name or anything. Like I was just like, let's just do a chat online. It was literally like a chat. If you want to come on chat, let's chat. So started doing Instagram lives. It was like one at a time. I just went on and just spoke, and then if somebody wanted to join, let's join that thing. And then it ended up being that I scheduled people in. It was like I was scheduling people in to come on, and so I might have like 1 or 2 guests at the start. Then more wanted to come on, so it was like they wanted to say their story. And I just sat there, and I always turned around and said, whatever you want to say, say. If you don't want to say anything, don't say anything. We just talk. Just talk. But if you want to say about whatever, and the story is what was coming out of these people, like I ended up having like over 100 people, like in the end, and it didn't just stop at like men in football. That was what it was at first. It was like, let's talk about football in general, but then we started talking about mental health, obviously because of my dad, etc. And that, and then it was like, then I started talking to women, like, and people I've never known, never spoken to, literally never spoken to at all. And this was just on my account. Then obviously we set up, started thinking about thing or whatever, and we ended up saying, let us talk.
Yeah.
Well, it is, just let us talk.
Yeah.
That was the slogan. It was like, okay, let us talk. So it's like hashtag let us talk. And then obviously just the mental health was just added on with it. And that was the theory. It was just like, you can come on here and just let us talk.
Yeah.
It was like, Zoe was obviously there supporting it and stuff like that.
Shout out Zoe, man. Shout out Zoe.
Big up Zoe.
Big up Zoe. No, do you know what? And the reason why as well is because it's like for your partner, your wife, to support you in that. She's also got to allow you a safe space to be vulnerable, especially as men. And I think sometimes, like as men, we take for granted women that allow us that space. If there's a space where you can come home and you don't have to feel like you have to be a man, you can just switch off, right? You have to give props to that woman.
Yeah, the thing is, I can't say enough, obviously, about Zoe with allowing me to do the thing with football in general. That I think we understand, obviously, as
of
us,
course,
what football means to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Football's my out. Football, when I go football, it's not because I just go football for the sake of it.
Yeah.
At times, it may feel that.
Yeah.
But I'm going it because it's my out. That's my release.
Remember,
I work in an SEN school, same as Zoe does.
Yeah.
But I work in an SEN school all day, like to a thing. It's rewarding, but it's tiring as well. Like it's physically and mentally tiring as well. So my out is I go to football. I do football. Yeah. That's always been like my out thing. So it would just come hand in hand. To make mental health, like let us talk, charity side with mental health to play football. And a lot of the people, obviously, what I've known over the years, like Dean Carpenter and Antonio, Enyo, like all of these people I've known for years, Chrissy Hubbard, all of them, like Junior Baker. Like, I can keep going.
Shout out Junior Baker.
I can keep
Junior.
on.
Talk the ting.
In too deep.
Yeah.
So I can say these people, like loads of people will know them. Like, and do you know what it was? It's one of them. Like it was ended up like a group. We ended up just going in a group and speaking in the group as well. And then I was like, all right, when COVID's over, let's just do like charity games, etc. So then we entered like charity competitions, ended up like getting to the semi-final, but it was never about that. I don't like. I just wanted to be like random. Like
of
we've
course.
got like sponsors now. Like I've got like obviously the Let Us Talk tracksuits. I've got warm-up tops. A lot of these people were involved with Saturday clubs, obviously, or Sunday clubs. They're like, you've got more than what we. I still wanted to make it like nice for them and professional for them.
100%.
It was like you got more like them thing. And I think it was they wanted to help us because it's the meaning behind
100%.
it. And it was like that's why we've got like the nice tracksuits and the nice kits and the nice like things what we've got for that. But the team is a lot of people have gone through struggles, and that's why it is nice to have a group that can relate to each other,
support
and be around each other.
I think
like we might not speak for like weeks in that group, but I know if one person just puts something, or it might be that they put a status up and it's like that's not them, that's not them, like on Instagram, or that's not normally them, and we just drop a message and we say, "Are you okay?" Like that. We might not talk, but we all know we're there. We all know we're there for each other.
I think it's important to have stuff like that. We always say this, like. Especially men, like we don't speak enough. Like we don't speak enough. We will suffer in silence. And I think that's the worst.
It's that man up.
Do you know what I mean?
It's that man up.
How much?
But also, I'll throw it back with a question for you, especially for you, Miles. Like, in football, do you think the perspective? And I've said this to a lot of obviously people that come on the lives, obviously who have played like non-league or above. Do you think that people have never opened up because they feel like it's a weakness that can be used against them on a pitch?
100%. I definitely believe that. If talking for myself, you have to be tough.
Yeah,
You have to have a
yeah.
strong mentality.
Yeah.
I was, even when you was talking before, I was thinking like, when you said one person can handle one thing and another person
Yeah.
can't handle it.
Yeah.
It's like, I always think this, because if I get subbed, I might be devastated by that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And if you get subbed, you might be like, you know what, that might encourage you to
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
But just, there's no wrong answer with it.
Yeah.
It's just that I might need more help than you do.
Yeah.
And then, but my thing is, the best managers notice that.
Yeah.
And the best managers will know to put arm around me and to give you what you need, to give you the encouragement you need
Yeah.
to go and do what you need to do. But growing up, the mentality was, you have to have a strong mentality. Man up. Man up. Like,
Yeah.
you get dropped, man up.
Yeah.
You're injured, man up. Everything was man up. So you couldn't be vulnerable in football.
Yeah.
Now you kind of can a little bit more, because there's more of support. There's more things. But when we was growing up, you couldn't be weak. Any sign
Do
of
you think that
weakness.
is because, like, say, I don't know, there's no platform. There was no platforms
No,
slightly back
yeah,
then,
yeah.
so it would just be like a
conversation,
conversation.
yeah.
But nowadays, do you think, like, in general, obviously back then, if somebody had found out, say they knew I was struggling or for an issue or whatever, if I come up against you on Saturday, I feel like sometimes
They would
people
definitely
thought they
use
would
it.
use it against you.
100%.
Like, how's your mum? Like,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
how's your mum? If
100%.
they knew your mum was like
Ill
or
or
whatever,
something.
yeah,
Yeah, I've seen
how's
it.
your mum? Like,
I've seen
just
it.
to get
Because
the
there are some
advantage.
sick-
there's some sickening things that I've heard, and there's some sickening things that I've seen in football, like back in the day, where it kind of felt like there was anything goes.
Can I just correct you? It's not back in the day. It's even now, bro.
Yeah.
No,
Like, it's-
Unfortunately, it
I'm
does still
I was
happen.
going to touch on to that, but yeah, no, go
because
on.
we see things,
Yeah.
in social media and on the news
Yeah.
that people are saying this and
Yeah.
people are doing this. I'm like, huh? Do you
So
know
what
what
I
I
was
mean?
going to say is that I used to see some sickening things back in the day and hear certain things back in the day, but I think even more so now, it's even heightened because of so much technology and so much
Yeah.
social media that we have now.
Yeah.
We're starting to see things now, like where like we saw them back in the day, and maybe you saw them, you thought, okay, that person's just out of order.
Brush under
Na-
the
Yeah.
carpet,
but now
Yeah.
it's at a point, and it's something that you said previous, which we're going to go on to,
Mm.
is the fact that like people are now memes. People are now
But-
being made to be things and be this way.
Do you know what it is? People are getting caught.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
There's cameras now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anything you do now,
Yeah.
you're getting caught.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
But it
It's-
also can be portrayed a different way.
100%.
It might not
yeah.
be
That's
that
the problem.
way.
Yeah, of course,
And
of
But
course.
because it
problem.
can be edited
Yeah,
a certain
yeah,
way.
yeah,
And we've
of
seen
course,
that over the
of
last couple
course.
of
Yeah.
years with like
certain things.
you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
But that's why it's so, as I said, it's so important to have support. Like, even like, I know now in like a lot of the top clubs, like there's people that you can go to
Yeah.
if you do feel a certain
Yeah.
way. Do you know what I mean?
I mentioned one of the people, and you'll know him anyway, but Tony Russell and Joe Vines and that.
Yeah.
When they was at Cray Wanderers, and Ali, who obviously the physio and that, they literally, Joe is really big on mental well-being as well. So
Yeah.
it's like we all used to, when they come into training, we used to say, look, there's a space now. If you want to go and talk, if you want to talk to like maybe the physio, or you want to talk to Ali, or you want to talk to me,
That's
that's
lovely.
fine.
That's dope.
Let's do that. But they wasn't. I feel like the old school managers in general. This is coming from a management team.
Yeah.
But they're not there. You
Yeah.
remember, they only see you on a Tuesday or Thursday if you're
Yeah.
training, or on a match day, or whatever. So you're only with them in that period of time. They don't care. Some people, majority of people, unfortunately, in the football, they're there, as we go back to, they're there to get results.
100%.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
there to worry you what you've
Don't
done,
care.
what's
Yeah.
happened to
Yeah.
you today.
Exactly.
I remember, as I just mentioned, I'm coming from a stressful job. If I'm going, I don't know, and then traveling 3 hours to go to Lewis or going to Dover or whatever on a Tuesday night,
Yeah.
they don't care. They
Yeah.
don't care. They just care how you've performed.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
don't care what's gone
It's
on
true. It's
in
true.
in the day or the week before.
They don't.
And
Yeah.
it's interesting you said that, because you said that you and Zoe work in a school, and sometimes like this is where it's like I find it so difficult for teachers, because there is that thing of sometimes with the teachers where there might be a certain child that you want to invest in a lot more, right? But at the same breath, they're saying to you, you've got to get this amount of kids at a pass rate. So if, for example, this child might be falling behind, you can't put the love and attention around them as much as you want to because that's what you're supposed to do. You didn't need it's a results thing. And I think, like you just saying with football, like that's why I feel like these sort of spaces that you've created, these sort of spaces that we've created, it's like trying to become that community together because football is a community. Do you know what I mean? And as you said, it's your outlet. And I don't think people understand for both people that for people that are into football, both men and women, that is the safe space.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's the safe space. So so in terms of obviously, like I said, we was going back onto the YouTube side of things now. Just being honest with you, you know that there's certain times where you may have been portrayed as this person, that person. How has that affected your well-being?
Yeah, it has at times, I'll be honest. As much as I tried not to, it's hard not to.
Yeah, of course.
When you're seeing, I don't have to click on and watch them videos, or I don't have to click on and look at the comments. I don't like in that sense. But when you go on to the comments sometimes, and I'm not even part of that. But because it might be that I'm a rival or whatever, and it's good content, etc. The way I may be passionate or the way I react, it might be perceived as something different, or edited different. Unfortunately for them, they're getting the content, but they don't understand that unless you're there in that situation.
Yeah.
So, Kerry, you could be watching that situation for the one time, but that's being edited. You don't know what's happened before that or after that or the week before or the month before, etc. No one knows. So it's like they're seeing it just as that perspective, and unfortunately the people watching them videos, 9 times out of 10 they're going to believe what's on that camera.
Of course.
So when you're getting comments in the thing and you're reading them or whatever, and it's like Leggett's a dickhead, or Leggett, why is Leggett acting like that? Well, you don't know why I'm acting. And you don't know me, so how can you say I'm a dickhead? You don't know. Come and speak to me, or come and understand what's going on, or find the full story first before you can make your opinion on something. I can't make an opinion on you if I don't know you. I can't make an opinion on anyone. I can have a perspective of what I've seen, but there's always, in life, there's always the 2 sides to a story. And sometimes you're still, even if I say something and Kerry, you say something, this might be still a middle ground. Unfortunately, have the right information before you think. But going back to what you're saying, it can affect you. Of course it can. Why am I going to not say it doesn't affect me? Of course it does. Because if somebody's saying on a weekly basis, "Oh, Leggett, you're a dickhead," or "Leggett, you're do this, negative, or if I go to a 5-a-side tournament or a 6-a-side tournament somewhere, and you go, "Oh, you're the one on that video," or "You're the one on that." It can be. I'm like, and like, "Oh, why do you act that way?" Or and you're getting questioned, and I'm like, I'm just coming to this 5-a-side tournament and I'm getting questioned about something what
you know nothing about. The person's
like,
coming to you and telling you that.
It's like, of course it's going to affect you, and I've got to stand there and try to justify something. It's like
to someone you don't even know. You know what I mean? Do you know how mad that is? It's actually when you obviously I'm taking in everything you're saying, and it's just like I'm just like, this is the world we live in now. You know, like, as you said, one side they don't know you, and if I'm honest, they don't want to know the other side. They don't even want to know the other side. They just want to.
They'll find what they want to find.
I can say this, like, do you get what I mean? Not knowing anything about you, not knowing your background.
But they're going to portray it like anyone is going to portray it for the benefit of themselves.
100%.
Of course, they're not going to portray it to go and put a light on me, are they? They're not going to say, "Oh, Leggett does this great," or "Leggett does this." Like, they're not going to portray that. They're just going to say, "Oh, Leggett does this," or "Leggett does that," like to make me look in a bad light.
Because
it's going to affect you in the end. It's going to affect you in the end. Of course,
100%.
And that's why anything that I might have seen online from you from anywhere, right? I know you in it. So for me, it's always a thing of where, and this is where I think people fall short of things. It's like, I don't know what happened that side of the story. I don't know, but when I want to find out, I'll just ask the source. Do you get what I'm saying? I'll ask the main source, which is obviously yourself. But I think it's very easy for some people to just look at that and then lose sight of the fact that this is a man that runs a mental health organization, for people and creating safe spaces. So it's like, it's how do I put this? Because I've seen it with even myself sometimes. It's like, because you try to do good things in the community, people expect that you're not supposed to switch.
Yeah.
Like, you're not supposed to say no. Yeah. You're not supposed to do anything mad.
Zoe says it to me all the time. Zoe turns around and says that basically when I don't do what I preach, and that's being honest, and I know it myself, but do you know what? I try to help everyone else.
Yep.
I don't worry about myself.
Yeah.
But then when it gets overbearing or when it goes too much, that's when I break down.
Yeah.
But no one sees that. Apart from Zoe.
Yeah.
And I'm obviously saying it now and then opening it up.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I preach, let us talk.
Yeah.
But I don't do it myself.
Facts. Yeah.
And it's like the only one I talk to is obviously Zoe.
Yeah.
So she has all the pressure. She has all the things.
Yeah.
But how does that affect her? Of course. She's my support. She's my rock, whatever. But how does that affect her as well? Because she's going to have her struggles.
It's hard. It's hard.
It's thing. But it's like I don't open up to everyone else because I think, well, in what you said, and said, there's a perspective. I've got to be strong for everyone else. I've made this platform. Yeah. But I made it because of my dad. But that doesn't mean I'm not struggling because of the
100%. 100%.
And what's going on in my life.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
Of course. But I'm saying this is where you can come to talk about your struggles. Yeah. But sometimes I'm just like, well, I don't. Yeah. The only time really is when I like get in that changing room with the boys.
And you speak to them.
And let us talk.
Yeah.
We don't have loads of games. Obviously, we have charity games. Yeah. But when we get in there, then I open up and I say, yeah, I'm struggling here or struggling there. Yeah. And if anyone else wants to say their struggle, it's fine. Yeah. We're here, like thing. But it's hard in that sense because I'm trying to worry about everyone else.
100%. Yeah. And I think it's important, as you said, we were speaking about it before, to speak to the right people. Yeah. Because as you said, the wrong person could just make you turn the total opposite direction. And even me, Kerry knows, I chat to Kerry all the time about everything. Yeah. And obviously I've got other friends that I talk to, but I wouldn't talk to everyone about everything.
Because you can't.
Because I can't. Yeah. Because I just know if I speak to everyone about everything, I could go the other way. Yeah. It could make me go in the other direction. That's why it's important to have good people around you and understand life. Some people ain't. But with what you got, it's a platform for someone to maybe have confidence to come and speak. And what you did have or what you do have, it's a platform for someone to come and speak. And who knows, that could change someone's whole life. Do you know what I mean?
And you know what? I think sometimes what people lose sight of is the fact that, like, don't get it twisted. There's a lot of these people that run organizations that are out to help people. And it's like, I didn't get into the whole field of mental health because I love mental health. Yeah. I got into mental health because I was struggling myself.
100%.
Do you get what I'm saying? It's not like something like I love cars, so I got into mechanics. I love football, so I got into... No, I don't love mental health. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those ones I have a passion for it and I care for people. But sometimes people lose sight of the fact that when you run an organization that supports people, even that in itself makes you feel like you can't even show any emotional. You can't show it because you're still the person that makes this run. They come to you. So if they see you breaking down, they're like,
oh, how can we come to you?
And even that, like, even with some of the youngers that come to me of recent, like shout out Rob and shout out Martin, these young boys here, like they'll come to me, they'll phone me and they'll ask me how I am, and they won't realize that, like, although I'm brushing it off and say, yeah, I'm good and everything like that, the fact that they've come to me and even asked me that, I really appreciate that.
Man, trust me.
So for you, Jamie, it's like, it's a shame because, like,
I think, sorry, just going back to your question about the social media as well. Like, I've had people understand, obviously, they know I'm associated, obviously, with football, etc. But then they know I'm associated with it. I've had people turn around and tweet and say things and put messages in my inbox. Like, I'm not saying I'm a big thing, but it's been portrayed that me or whatever. They want to get content of me. But I've had people saying, how can you act a certain way when you're promoting mental health?
Yeah.
And it's like, or like people saying, oh, yeah, that Sunday League, Ian Bill and stuff like that. Everything. Oh, yeah, but
wow.
he's like, you're this, you're that, but you're promoting mental health. That's gonna like, how can you do that? Because you saying something is affecting that person. I'm like, I have to then think, oh, did I say something what was gonna affect somebody else?
Yeah.
Like, but like, it's like, have I done something wrong? Like you know what I mean? So then it goes round in a circle.
It's a bit of a mind.
And I'm like, I don't understand, like, why you just. Again, everyone's each to their own, but I just don't understand why people in life can't be just okay and just kind. I just don't.
But do you know what it is as well? I think for some people, and for some people, it's very difficult at times to understand that, like, there's only so much that you can go to a zoo and go boogie, 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 boogie to a bear.
Yeah.
Before that bear decides to switch. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do. Go out to that tiger that looks friendly because it's sitting down peaceful until it gets to a point where the tiger says, you know what? This is long. I'm coming for you. And I feel like that's where I feel like we all need to do it. We all need to kind of understand humanity.
There's a limit, isn't there? For everyone, there's a limit.
And some people, it's like this. And like you said it similarly. No, it was Miles that said it about you might come off the bench and you might be like, good, right? Yeah. And you might come off the bench and you might be like, distraught. This is the same with banter. For some people, they will look at it and they will be like, oh, this is just banter. Yeah. For that other person, they may not be able to take that.
100%.
And
but it's not even about taking. That's not it. Like certain.
It's not kind.
Like, when you're saying about mental health, like I don't like me. You want to talk about me, okay, personally or whatever, etc. That's fine. But when you're talking about mental health and you're bantering about mental health, that doesn't make no sense.
You can't banter about.
You can't.
It doesn't make no because you're saying, oh, how can that person promote mental health when he's either said something like this or this? So what?
Yeah.
Like now you're trying to get something off me.
100%. And my thing
mental
is,
health.
No one's perfect.
Yeah.
That's the fact of the matter. It doesn't matter if you've said something that no one's perfect. Like no one.
I've seen some.
You know what I'm saying?
It goes back to you don't know the situation as well. Like you might have only seen a snipper of it.
Yeah.
So how can you turn around and say, how can he promote mental health? You don't know what's gone on before that or after that. As you just turned around and said, somebody's got to the limit. This might not be the first time that something's happened to you, from that person or from whatever. And it just goes like this, builds up. We've all got to a boiling point. We all get to a limit where no, enough's enough now. Like enough's enough now. Or it might be that, okay, that's not enough, but something else might have happened. And then you've now turned around and just done that. I'm going to now take it out on you.
100%.
But you know what I mean? Like, so there's a balance in everyone's life, physically, mentally, etc. But you can't keep on pushing that person. As you just turned around and said, you can't keep pushing a bell and think he's not going to go back at you.
If I'm honest, it's like, thank God that you're strong enough to take it, because other people might not be able to take it. You see it on social media. I'm telling you, I've seen so many people that have been broken from comments and certain things said to them, but I'm just thankful that you're strong enough to take it.
I'm thankful as well. Just to
interject
as well. What I'm thankful for as well is that you haven't allowed anything that you've seen online or just in general that you've seen to stop you from your actual purpose.
100%. That's a good point. Very good point.
Because there's sometimes it might just be like, you know what, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Because I just want to be away from the whole sport in general. Do you get what I'm saying?
True.
That's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, touch on like 5-a-side, 6-a-side. Obviously, 5-a-side and 6-a-side, I'm around like Stars League, etc. And I've got good people around me with like Ike and Money and that. Like, and I speak to them, and the 6-a-side obviously with Ross and I'll speak to these people, and they will understand the situations and what it is. But they like people can criticize what I've done, but no one can knock what I've done in 5-a-side or 6-a-side. And when people try to, that's fine, but then they remind me, understand what you've done. Like they have no credentials to say that. I can't speak to Miles about 11-a-side. I can.
You could.
No, but I can speak to you about the game. But I can't criticize what you've done in the game. You play pro. I can't turn around and say, "Oh, you're a shit player." Or when people, even like we go into the England game, I don't care that. Like the fact of the matter is, the England game obviously tonight, the final. Everyone's going, "Oh, we've played shit the whole tournament." So what? Do I care? Do I care? I don't care. I don't care. But you want to keep saying they played shit. That's fine. But they're in the final.
Facts.
They're in the final. And then one game
We're
away from
looking for
being
the
European
negatives.
champion.
Exactly.
We're always looking for, as you told me, said negative or a bad thing or a bad light.
Do you know?
Putting somebody down.
It's something
constantly.
that you say, like, because, like, we know football fans.
Yeah.
We're all football fans here.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah.
And we've all said stuff to players. That you think, oh, he was crap. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even me, like, obviously, I've played football for years, and one thing I said, I'm not gonna react to anything a fan says about me, or because for me, they pay their money, so they can say what they want. Just as long as it ain't nothing to do with my kids or anything like that, you can criticize my game. I promise you, like, but that's something that I've just controlled that I don't get. If a fan said, "Oh, Western, you're crap," they say, or the opposing fans say it every game. Do you get what I'm saying? Western, you're crap. Or if I come off the bench, you got all warming up down the side. Oh, look, you're a sub. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but I can take that.
And I think that's it. But
what
that's in football in general.
But what I'm saying is that in general, I look at it differently because obviously I have an outer picture of it. But I turn around and say, I'm not going to try to put somebody down who's done more in the game than me.
No, 100%.
Like, I'm not going to. How can I turn around and say, Harry Kane, you're shit? Or Miles Weston, you're shit? You play pro. You want like playoffs and things. I can't put you down.
I get you.
Why would I do that? I'm trying to. I'm basically trying to just put you down as a person. Like I'm trying to put a perceiver of something what is not. No one can knock what I've done in 5-a-side and 6-a-side. It might not be for thousands of people, but when you start talking about 5-a-side or 6-a-side, and you've done nothing in that game, that it winds me up. But I'm just, it's laughable. It's laughable. Sorry, but you can't say nothing to me. Unless you've done more in the game than me. Then don't talk.
And this is why it's important to be able to understand yourself, and be not be as insecure as we are, as a lot of people are, because success is dependent on what you deem as success. So for somebody looking at that, they might look at your accolades and think, oh, that's not really successful, right? But for you, right, and people that are in and around will know what that means to you. So that's success. Do you get what I'm saying? And I feel like this is where what I love about this podcast is the fact that, like, we're talking about this now. Whether you go from Prem to non-league, whether you're a manager, you're a coach, physio, scout, whatever it is, ref, right? We all hear these things and they all affect us.
100%.
You get what I'm saying? And we lose sight of the fact that, like,
as much as people might say, "Oh, it doesn't," it does.
It does.
So it doesn't matter what you. Like Miles just over there said, "Oh, it doesn't." It doesn't matter to him that people are saying he's a shit player or whatever. It does. Like mentally, it does. Not to the extent of that thing.
If
but
I'm honest with you,
it still bugs you.
I'm older now, so I can take it. When I was younger, I couldn't take it. Like it affected me a lot more when I was young because I didn't know how to. I'm like, what?
At times it bugs you. It's just laughable sometimes as well. Like it's different emotions,
and it comes with age, innit?
Yeah, 100%.
I think even in general, like even just in life, like you know what battles to fight.
Yeah, exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
I'm as I said, like I'm more. I think it's
like now I'm not bothered what you have to say.
Do you get what I'm saying? But if I'm honest, it's a more representation of me because I feel sorry for them people. I promise you.
You just don't know what you're talking about.
I'm like,
whatever.
I actually feel sorry for you because
you're like whatever. Okay.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like you're coming to my game to watch my team play.
Yeah. You're paying to watch me.
And you're cussing us.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's more of a... I actually feel sorry for these because, like, you're just here to be negative.
Yeah.
Like, your life's negative.
What
Like, do you know what I mean?
What are you getting out of it?
This is it.
What are you honestly getting out of it? Standing there shouting.
And
at
if I'm
someone,
honest,
like,
there's
what are you getting
it's
out of it?
minimal fans.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's not. The majority of fans ain't like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you get what I'm saying? The majority of fans are not like how what we're talking about. A majority of fans
It's
are
not more keyboard warriors.
Did
Than
you get what I'm trying to say?
It's not more keyboard warriors.
There's a lot more. 100%.
So can I ask you, Jamie? Like, in terms of like, obviously growing up in and around football, have you noticed now, like maybe looking back, that you might have looked at maybe like a colleague or when you were younger, that you'd think to yourself, wow, okay, I didn't maybe have the emotional intelligence that I have now to understand that there was probably a lot of my friends that was in around when we was in football that were probably going through it. Would you say you?
Yeah, some of them obviously come back to me. Obviously, as I mentioned, a lot of the players around my same age obviously are just coming towards maybe the end or going into management now. So I think the good thing with us is that we all speak about the past, where we're players, we try to influence the younger players now, what we're coaching or the managers the things. So I think like the way we acted as a player now, we try to pass on. Look, we acted like that. We understand, but you need to act like a different way if you want to progress.
Yeah, got to be better than us.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of managers, when I was younger, would do that.
And how important is that to you now?
I think it's a very important, not just for me, in general. I think it's for the players coming through now. Because it's a different generation. We're moving on. So, again, you've got to understand that a lot back in the day when I was playing, it was more screaming and shouting. And like the manager or the coach would like, you got to do this, you got to do that. Sometimes it's like, hold up.
Yeah,
that might be good for that person. It's not good for that person. Unfortunately, people turn around and say, "Oh, it's soft. The game's soft now, and all this and that." And but it is.
It's different.
The fact of the matter is, as I mentioned earlier, when you go to a game when we was back in the day, they don't care if you're physically or mentally drained or not going through something. It's just how you perform on that pitch.
100%.
The fact of the matter is now, I think that it comes hand in hand. You have to be mentally ready and you have to be physically ready. So when you're playing football, you have to be both. You have to be mentally strong. You have to be free. If you're struggling mentally, then the physical side's not going to come out. The same as if you're physically, it's going to affect you mentally because things. So I think the game has evolved. Can it still get better? Yes, it can still get better. And I think a lot of managers now and the coaches now need to understand that more. Has it got better? Yeah, slightly. I still think there's a long, long way to go to understand, especially from the top. Not we're speaking a lot about obviously non-league, but obviously Miles was being in at pro clubs. I think it has to get better from the top all the way down. It doesn't. I think like obviously I had one of the guests on, Kevin George. Obviously, I think he tries to promote it as much as he can into it and academies and everything, touching obviously on academy players. They don't know what non-league is. If they've been in the academy system the whole time until they're 18, and then get released, they don't know what non-league football is. I think it's the same. I think we can touch on it with Dom. Dom, when we was younger, is one of the most talented players around.
100%.
Meant to be the next big thing. In academies a whole way, and then suddenly he's just dropped out of the system. No one cares. They don't care. The academy system don't care.
I say this,
and there's nothing in place. There's nothing in place.
And this is what I try to do with what I do anyway. You know already, Kerry. I try to mentor and guide because I know everything you just said. I've seen it and I've lived it. So when I'm seeing young players go through, as you said, it's a different generation now. Like, we used to clean changing rooms. They're not allowed to do the boots and that. They're not allowed to do that now. They're not allowed to clean changing rooms and stuff because it's seen as what's the word? It's not it's not bullying. But it's seen as something where they're not allowed to do it now as youngsters anyway. But this is what I grew up as. I grew up as, grew up in that, like cleaning the change
So
rooms.
youth teams would do the first team's boots, clean it.
Clean boots, but now the youth teams ain't allowed to do that because I don't know if it's like seen as some sort of slavery kind of. I don't.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's not the word. Not that.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're trying to say.
I can't remember the word I'm looking for, but and this is why I try to mentor, because I'm saying, like, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing you saying, even what you said about being released, there's more and more footballers coming through.
Yeah.
So now, if there's more footballers coming through, there's going to be loads dropping out.
More getting
Do
released.
you get what I'm trying to say?
So
it's going to be harder to get a contract.
What happens to them?
And look,
a lot of the people can come on, like the Owen Prices and all them. Like when I was doing my chats, they never knew. They was always portrayed as going to be the next
big thing.
Like Dean Mack and all them. All of them. Oh, that superstar. They're going to be thing. That's what the clubs put into them. And then, and when you're released, and it just hits your world.
Yeah,
100%.
You remember, like, as a young footballer, Kerry, you would still say it.
Yeah.
When you're young and you're playing football, you want to be that.
Yeah.
Say Harry Kane. You want to be that person.
Yeah.
Like you want to be it, and then suddenly you get to 18, and then it's just gone.
I remember Cherno
Where am I
Samba.
going?
Cherno Samba.
was cool.
Like, I remember that championship manager. Everybody was like, even that, like, he went to my school, and he was like, he's gonna be the next big thing. And then I don't know the story, but apparently I think somebody came in for him. They didn't offer him.
Liverpool
for a meal or something like that, and from Millwall they didn't want it, and then. Like, but don't get twisted.
It's the same as like Miles or Ashikodu.
Moses as Ashikodu. Big up Moses.
Meant to be like the next big thing.
And then
Sam Williams when with my age, Man United coming through him. They didn't happen, and then suddenly a year later he was released like from a club, and
this is what is mad, because imagine like you doing football your whole life, and all of a sudden. It's taken away, and you got to go into something else that you've never done before.
Don't know.
Like,
and what we're saying is,
do you get what I'm saying?
You're in that bubble of not academy football.
Yeah.
So as we mentioned earlier, you're playing academy football doesn't set you for non-league. You don't even know what non-league is. So when you go in to say, I don't know, you're released from Chelsea or whatever. Yeah. You'll get a say a conference club saying, all right, come in on trial. Yeah. So you'll come in on trial. But he's going to play a certain way because he's only been coached that for all the time through the academy. Yeah. He will look. He could look absolutely terrible to the manager. And they go, "Nah, we're not having you." And he's like, and that's another knockback.
And then you've got the defenders out there. Let's say for your striker, you're a striker. You got the defenders out there that will nudge you in the back. That will say to you, "Oh, you got released from Chelsea. You got released from this." And they have it mentally. Yeah. They may not be technically better than you. But mentally, they don't know how to get in your head and put you off your whole game. And that defender will look like Maldini against you. Do you get what I'm saying?
100%.
So,
I think
if he goes to another club, you weren't good enough at Maidstone.
Yeah.
What makes you think you're going to be good here?
And this is my thing. Even like going on trial is mental. Like sometimes, you know how like there's people that just don't pass the trial list.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they're scared that they're going to
take their spot. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. So there's loads that happen.
Isolated. Yeah. So again, that's not only physically.
Yeah,
I could be good physically, but now I'm mentally thinking, well, I've got a little. What am I meant to do now?
No, they're not passing to me.
Like, what am I gonna do?
On trial here. I'm trying to get a contract. They're not passing to me. They might think I'm rubbish or whatever. Do you know what? There's so much fields in football where things mentally happen, and as I said, it's like some people can take it and some people can't, and it's like I still feel like only the strong survive. And this is what. Football's built on. That's the wrong perspective, but this is what it's built on because they're gonna be like, "Oh, he's mentally weak, man. Look, he couldn't do that." And do you get what I'm trying to say?
This is why I think it's so important for people like ourselves and people out there that really want to make the difference to actually get involved.
But it's also the platform for it.
Yeah,
like I'm being honest. Like as much as I can do the charity games, etc., and a lot of other people can do the charity games, etc. It's the platform of it. And going back to social media, there's so many big platforms, but they don't use it correctly. If I had their platforms, I always think if I had their platforms, what I could do for, say, mental health or this charity or this 100%. Charity or the awareness of this. Yeah. Like what I'm saying about obviously like groups of pro players being released. how could I help them?
Yeah.
How can I either transition them into non-league football, or put them in the right place for non-league football, or even get them back into the program? They're not used. The platforms are not used correctly, in my opinion. And
do you know why I don't think they use? Do you know why I don't think they use correctly? Because I feel like, and once again, it's just my opinion. I feel like there's a lot of platforms out there that say they want to do this, but that's not their real. That's not their real intention.
Of course not.
Like, it might just be to create the brand of what you're trying to do, the
perception
perception
around it,
and then all of a sudden, okay, we can get this funding or we can get this sponsorship, and then
100%.
they lose the ethos of what you're
they're
trying to
do.
actually
But
do.
there is some that.
Yeah,
there's some. There is some. I wouldn't say all, but the majority, I would say.
But
do you know what I mean?
But the problem is with the sum is that
they might not be as big as the others.
Yeah, because of the sums that are trying to, you can see the authenticity of it.
Yeah.
Right? And when the authenticity, I hate that word. When that happens, right, and you see it, sometimes, unfortunately, they're the ones that get left. I wouldn't even say left behind. Their trajectory is just a bit slower.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So, and trust me, Jamie, listen, your trajectory is gonna come. So,
100%.
like I know you said you've seen some of the platforms and stuff like that, and you think what you could do with that. But I promise you, God has got you in a position where you've started this platform, and He wants to field you. And I feel like I'm just preaching church here, but like this is a sermon that said today, like, is that you're building you've built a foundation, bro.
Yeah.
And you're building your foundation on a rock, right? Whereas some organizations, don't get twisted, they're doing fantastic things, but if their foundation and their structure is not aligned with what they're actually trying to do, then later on down the line, it's going to come crashing down. Do you know what I mean? So for you, I feel like for everything that you've done in football and everything that you're saying, brother, you've got foundation. You've got foundation. So the last question I have to ask you before we go is, what advice would you give to somebody if they were struggling and they're finding it very difficult to speak to somebody?
It's hard again, as I mentioned earlier on. It's like you have to be ready. You have to be ready to speak. You have to be ready, and you have to have the right person, obviously, to find that person, the right thing. It might be a counsellor, it might be your best friend, it might be a complete stranger, it might be somebody down the road, whatever. But you've got to find that person. Because if you don't find that person, unfortunately, it might be hard. It might take you 15, 20 years or whatever. Like, unfortunately, in some cases, we know that's too long and but the message I would say is, please find that person as quick as you can. Yeah. But I'm not saying rush it. I'm saying please find that person, because it will help you in the long run. It will help you. Yeah. Just find that person who's right to speak to. But my message more is, as I said, like the person who I go to, or the person who who's struggling goes to, please make sure they're the one that please listen to them. Yeah, make sure you listen. You might not have the answers. But you might be able to put them in touch with a person what does have the answers. You might be able to help them in a certain.
Love that.
Yeah. So more of, yes, find the right person, but make sure if somebody has come to you or does come to you, please listen to them. Yeah. Make sure you do listen. Don't overtalk them. So if Kerry comes to me and says something, and I go, I'm over talking, I'll be like, why did I come to you? Why am I coming to you? They might have they might have just feel that's the right time. I might go out there in 2 minutes time and think I'm struggling. Like, I'm not no random. I might want to talk to a complete stranger. Yeah. And I'm just, obviously the message, as I say, is make sure if somebody does come to you, whoever it is, you might not know them, but please just listen. Just listen.
That's
you might just
advice.
Talk it. Just listen to somebody.
That's
just
great advice. That's great
it
advice.
It doesn't take anything to just listen.
And for anybody that is struggling, as we always do, you'll have a list of organisations that we put up on our screen and everything like that. But what you'll see at the bottom here is Jamie's organisation. So if you've literally been listening and you thought to yourself, do you know what, like I'd like to get in contact with him, then we'll have his organisation on the bottom of the screen now that you can see, you can connect with him. Jamie, thank you for coming, man, and thank you for being so open and so vulnerable, bro. I'm proud of you, man. Like,
thanks, Kerry.
Genuinely proud of you, bro.
It's a pleasure, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Miles.
It's definitely a pleasure you coming on, man. Some powerful messages, man, and I hope if anyone is out there struggling, you listen to Jamie because he said some powerful things today, man. Even me, I took a lot from it, man.
And if you had that perception of him in a particular way, hopefully that we can kind of
hopefully you
get rid of them.
Get
That out of there.
As you said at the thing, everyone's different, and everyone does make mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not like have not made mistakes.
Yeah.
I've made mistakes like everyone else, but just don't hold it over them for the rest of their lives.
Exactly.
Like understand that people can change, people can thing, and people are all going through different things at certain times. So at 1 minute I could be going through something bad and it's perceived a certain way. So just understand, look, just get the full story. That's all I ask.
Yeah. And like I say, like, listen, this is why we're here. And I think it just shows you that, like, whether we go from the pros to all the way down to non-league, with the coaches, staffs and scouts, whatever it is you want to do within the footballing industry, mental health is real. And to somebody, mental health means something else. So just understand, be patient, be kind. And what me and Miles will say is that we're not professionals in this. Like, professional footballer, Miles is. I'm a professional watcher. But we're not professionals in this. This is why we come and we let people come in and tell their stories, because we're not here to tell you what you should be doing. We want people to give their stories so that hopefully you might be able to connect with them. But listen, people.
Just one thing, Kel.
Yep.
Obviously, on that note, Miles and Kiri, what you're doing is wonderful, and as you say, like, you're letting people come on and speak and give the platform as well. So
Appreciate you.
see what you're doing in the community as well. So
Thank you, bro.
Make sure you keep on doing it as well.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, man. We appreciate you, man. We're gonna be here giving compliments back and forth to the point where we don't even stop.
Yeah.
But listen, before we go. You know what time it is. You know exactly what time it is. So we're gonna make it real quick. So right, what we're gonna need. Oh yeah, you already know the format. All right. So Jamie, what you need is your phone. Right. I'm gonna ask you 5 questions, and in those 5 questions, all I want you to do is just put down the answer that you think it is, and then you're gonna swap phones so we can just make sure that you're not cheating or anything like that. So now this one's a bit different. So what it is, I'm gonna say the name of the club that they played for, and then the name of the club that they managed. And you got to tell me who the person is.
Okay.
All right.
This is what I'm saying.
Listen, we got to cater to our audience, isn't it? We got to cater to our audience. Right.
So
the
team they played for, the team they manage now.
No, they've
managed.
They've managed. Right. Okay, cool.
So they might be managing them still.
They might be still managing them now.
Okay.
So I'll start off with an easy one. We're gonna go with 5 here. I'll start off with an easy one, yeah?
Go on.
And you can't call out the answer, you just write it down, yeah?
Yeah.
So, first one. Played for Everton and Arsenal and manages Arsenal.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
That's the first one.
My spelling might not be great.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. That's fine. Don't worry about that. Ready? Next one. Played for Sheffield Wednesday, West Ham and Charlton. Managed Sunderland.
Okay.
Say the 3 teams again.
Yep. Played for Sheffield Wednesday, West Ham and Charlton. Managed Sunderland. 5, 4, 3, 2. Next one. Played for Liverpool. Managed Aston Villa.
Okay.
Normally I'll be so good.
It's all right.
I can't do anything. Played for, and managed Aston Villa.
Yeah, played for Liverpool and managed Aston Villa.
Oh yeah, no, I know that.
I was about to say, you had to know that one.
I got it there, yeah.
Right, next one. Played for Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, and Middlesbrough. Managed or manages Middlesbrough and England.
Oh.
And the last one. No, I'm not going to make that difficult. That's too difficult.
I'm still stumped on the 2.
All right,
number
cool.
2.
Played for Man United, Liverpool, Middlesbrough, and Wolves, and managed Blackburn.
What? Wait.
I know.
Say it again. Man United. Can you repeat them? The teams.
Man United, Liverpool, Middlesbrough, and Wolves, managed Blackburn.
Okay.
5, 4, 3.
Oh,
2.
I got it.
I think I'm not sure.
Done. Cool. Swap phones, please.
Just quickly.
Yeah.
The second one quickly, so I can just write it. What was the second one again?
The second one was Sheffield Wednesday, West Ham, and Charlton, and managed Sunderland.
Cool. Okay,
cool. Swap. Let's swap, please.
Wait.
Hey, no, wait. There's no wait. Please swap. There we go. No. This guy does not know timings. Well, he's the most on-time person I've ever met in my life, actually. Right, let's go. Right, so the first one.
That's right, isn't it? 2.
So the first one.
Oh,
So the
He's just seen the last one.
yeah.
Right.
Just
So the first one was played for Everton and Arsenal, managed Arsenal. Your answer?
Mikel Arteta.
Okay, boom. Right. Second one, played for Sheffield Wednesday, West Ham, and Charlton, managed Sunderland. What's Jamie's answer?
I didn't know it.
What did Miles put?
Paolo Di Canio.
Yes, he's correct to that one. Right.
It's gonna be a draw.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Next one was, hold on, what did I do? I'm even mad. Hold on. Ooh.
Played for Liverpool.
Played for Liverpool and managed Aston Villa.
Stevie G.
Yeah, that's fine.
Stevie
Yeah,
G.
yeah. Right. Next one I said was Crystal Palace, Villa, and Middlesbrough, and it either managed or manages Middlesbrough in England. Southgate.
Yeah.
And then the last one
Miles it
was Man United, Liverpool, Middlesbrough, Wolves, and managed Blackburn.
So he had Mark Hughes.
Oh, I didn't know. I was struggling. Pull it.
Okay. So we got a tie. All right. So I got one question. Then. Right. Tiebreaker.
We're just writing it on.
Yeah.
You could just write. You could just write it on anyone's phone. Right. Cool. Right. Okay. Let's go with something a little bit spicy.
Oh man. Paul Ince. How I forgot that.
Yeah. I
got it when he said the manager.
Cool. Yeah. Right. You ready? Played for Chelsea. Managed West Brom and Chelsea. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jamie, your answer.
Vialli.
Miles, your answer.
Oh, who's?
Both wrong. We're starting again.
Okay.
Who was it? Roberto Di Matteo. All right, cool. Julius, we got camera. We got enough video time. Yeah? Okay, cool.
This is bad,
yeah,
man.
this is terrible. I would have won. Right.
Yeah, because you got the answers.
Exactly. Right. Okay. Ooh. Okay. All right. Cool. Ready? All right, next one. I get excited that I don't have to play these games. Right.
I thought
so
it was Vialli.
managed, played for Charlton, Chelsea, Newcastle, West Ham, Tottenham, and Fulham, and managed Fulham. 5,
What?
4.
Wait, no, you can't give us a little bit.
10.
Can you
9.
repeat the question?
Yeah, repeat again.
Sorry.
Played for Charlton, Chelsea, Newcastle, West Ham, Tottenham, and Fulham.
Got it.
And managed Fulham.
Got it. Yeah, got it.
10. 9.
I got it.
8.
Yeah, I got it.
7. 6.
I hope I got it.
5.
I think I got it.
4.
I've got it.
Oh, you
3,
gave me too much time.
I've got it.
2, 1. Hold on, you said too much.
I think I've got it.
Okay,
anyway.
cool.
I think I've got
I
it.
got
Right.
it. You got it. I know you got it.
Miles thought he had it first.
Oh,
so
yeah,
go on.
yeah.
Go on, Miles.
Scott Parker.
Scott Parker.
I've got to get that point. I want it first.
Again, you said too much time. You said too much time. So listen, we gotta be here. We're gonna be here for ages.
Oh, my
All right, I gotta
God.
make this. I gotta make this one that somebody. Oh, okay. Let me,
That was good thinking, though.
Yeah.
Scott Parker.
Yeah, I got
Right.
it.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do now,
In the end.
right? Let's do first person to name the answer because we might
so
we might
shout
not
it out.
shout it
Shout
out
it
because
out.
we might not leave. We definitely might not leave. Okay, cool. Played for Arsenal and Man City, managed Crystal Palace.
Patrick Vieira.
Oh.
Ah, there we go. We've got a winner again. Jamie, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on, brother.
Thank you
Honestly,
very much.
it's been a
Thank you
pleasure
very much, man.
speaking
Thank
to you,
you.
man. Thank you very much, and keep doing all the stuff that you do, bro, in the
too.
community. Keep going, keep thriving. Thank you to shout out to Zoe as well, man. Let's shout out Zoe.
Big
Let's
up
shout out
Zoe,
Zoe. Big
man.
up Zoe for supporting.
Yeah.
Listen, we're at the end of the podcast. Like I say, like we'll have the different organizations and the different platforms that you can get support from. But once again, we'll put on the screen Jamie's organization. Let us talk mental health. And obviously, with regards to anyone that you are struggling, the advice that Jamie gave, man, like if you are listening to that person, please be a listener. Don't let it go for a thing of where you feel like this is the time for you to open up to that person and overbear and overshadow what that person's speaking about. Even if there is something that you're struggling with, maybe after you let them simmer, let them do what they need to do, and maybe that's how you introduce it, because we're not going to belittle what you're going through as well, but somebody has come to you first and foremost. So let's look at helping each other. My name's Kerry Phillips,
My name's Miles Weston.
and this is the Set Piece Podcast. Take care, people. If you've been affected by anything discussed in this episode, we encourage you to seek support. Visit our mental health resources page at www.thesetpiecepodcast.com for help, guidance, and more information. Because when it comes to mental health, every mind deserves extra time.